Now, I've been leveraging credit cards in my personal and business life to help me be able to travel around the world pretty much for free. So today I'm going to be breaking down how exactly I go about doing it. So be sure that you stay tuned so you can do it for yourself as well. Now, for those of you guys who are new to the channel, my name is Tomy I'm pretty much at this point traveling around the world, spending a month at a time in different locations. Currently, I am now here in Cartagena, Colombia. A lot of the reasons why I've been able to do what I'm doing currently is because I've been able to integrate credit cards and, more importantly, credit card points to make my lifestyle more achievable. One of the biggest expenses that you're going to have when you're going on trips or even vacations is the plane ticket, right? And so if you're able to find a way to pretty much eliminate that expense where you're paying pretty much next to nothing to be able to have an even better or higher class of fare that you would have done yourself, then to me that makes it a no-brainer. So first off, I want to touch on the actual strategy that I use to make sure that I'm maximizing all the potential credit card points that I could be getting for free flights or hotel stays, whatever the case may be. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I always look at where all my spending is going. Right? So for an easy example is, let's say you are a transportation company. I would say are most of my expenses having to deal with gas for my trucks, right? Maybe I'm paying right now cash or I'm using a debit card to pay for fuel at gas stations. Then what I would do is I would write that down. I'd make a list of all my expenses from highest to lowest. Then the next thing I would do is I would start looking at credit cards that can match well with my biggest spending categories. Because sometimes what you'll see is you'll find some cards that they say, hey, we'll pay an extra, 2% cash back if you use this card at a gas station, or 3% cash back if you use this card at an office supply store, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of how you want to look at it. You want to see which ones align best with your actual biggest spending categories. After that, the next thing you want to do is you want to leverage the credit cards in place of your debit cards. And now you're going to be able to earn maximum credit card points based on your actual spending. So all you're really doing is you're pretty much actually adding another step to your purchases. So normally what you might have done is let's say you were going to a gas station, you would use your business debit card, or maybe you were paying with cash. Now all you're going to be doing instead is you're going to be paying with a credit card that might give you extra points if you're using that card at a gas station. And then you just transfer your actual cash that you have into the credit card to pay it off. And so the process really is that simple. Next, let me give you an idea of what my current card breakdown is and how I plan on adding more cards to that list. Now, first card that I got was the Chase Inc. Business Cash. Was actually the second one, but I'll explain that here in a second. Now, this card gives me 5% cash back on purchases at office supply stores and also on internet, cable, and phone services. Now, obviously, I'm not spending that much on internet, cable, and phone services, but it's the office supply store part that actually can make it worth it. So me being able to earn an additional 5% cash back is a no-brainer. Why not use another card that way I can earn that 5% instead of me paying in cash or what have you? So they're willing to give me up to 5% cash back on up to $25,000 per year. I'm nowhere near hitting that, so it works out perfectly for me. On top of that, they also give me 2% cash back on purchases at gas stations and restaurants up to another $25,000 per year. Now guys, just to give you an idea, I currently have over 200,000 Chase points just from leveraging this method because of the sign-up bonus and me actually using my card over and over again. Now, the other card that I have is actually the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, and I actually signed up by accident to that card. I was trying to sign up for the first card I mentioned, the Chase Inc. Business Cash card. I know, I made a huge mistake signing up for it, but it worked out just fine because I had another sign-up bonus that I actually end up earning by meeting the minimum spend for that card. So those are pretty much the two cards that I currently have, but my coming soon cards is one, the Amex Business Gold card. I currently have the Amex Gold card, the personal version, which is great, but this card, the reason why I like the Amex Business Gold card is because they give you 4x membership rewards points per dollar that you spend in two categories where your business actually ends up spending the most. So what they do is they give you a list of different categories, and out of those categories, they're going to give you 4x membership rewards points on the two categories you spend the most in. Now, these categories include airfare purchase from airlines, US purchases for advertising and in select media, that's the category I'm really looking at, and US purchases from select technology providers of computer hardware, software, cloud solutions. So think like AWS, cloud services, that's really the huge one. Purchases at gas stations, purchases at restaurants, and purchases for shipping. So this to me is a no-brainer card. I think for a lot of businesses out there, especially if you're advertising, you're doing online advertising, it's a no-brainer. That's really what I'm looking at it for. I'm gonna be using this card to start running my advertising expenses through. And if I'm leveraging, Facebook advertising, Google advertising, right, all these different platforms, they're gonna be willing to pretty much give me 4x for spending that I was already gonna do anyways. Now, one caveat is this does have a $295 annual fee. That means that based on a membership rewards point value of 2.2 cents per point, you'll need to earn around 13,400 points before it'd be worth it for you to have this card. So pretty much your break-even point would be the 13,400 points. But that comes out to meaning that you would need to spend $3,350 per year in one of the previously mentioned categories. Now for me, that to me makes it a no-brainer because I'm hitting more than that when it comes to how much I'm spending in advertising. But even more than that, I know that I can end up leveraging those points to make even more than the 2.2 cents per point. That's the average that you can get off of Amex points. The next card I'm looking at is the Chase Ink Business Preferred. This is gonna be pretty much for the exact same reason. This is Chase's competitor to the Amex Gold card, and this card actually gives you 3x ultimate rewards points per dollar spent on up to $150,000 in combined purchases on internet and cable and phone services, shipping expenses, travel, and ads purchased with search engine or social media sites. Okay, now again, you know where I'm looking at. I'm looking specifically at the social media sites or even search engines when it comes to ads that I'm going to be purchasing. So for me, it's another card that I have on my radar because I'm more than likely going to end up getting both of these cards. Now, the annual fee on this card is going to be just $95. That means that based on the ultimate rewards points value, which is on average 2 cents per point, you would need to earn around 4,750 points before it'd be worth it to actually have this card. Now that means that you need to be spending about $1,600 a year in one of the previously mentioned categories that I touched on. So for most people, I think that'll be an easy point to hit, especially if you have a business and you're kind of, you're already running on all cylinders. These are just cards that you can literally just pop into your business and you just insert them wherever you see fit, and you're gonna see that you're gonna be able to hit these milestones pretty easily. Now, what are some other cards that you could look at depending on what your business activity is? Now, do you have any big spend categories, or can you leverage a card based on the benefits you'll receive that may outweigh any cost? That's kind of how you want to look at it. I'll be getting, for example, the Amex Platinum card soon for personal use because its access to lounges really make it beneficial for me. That's just based on how much I'm actually going to be traveling and how much I currently travel. It makes sense. I might not be able to completely offset the annual fee, which is $695, but even if I'm left with, I'm able to offset all of it except for, let's say, $100 worth of the fee. To me, it's still worth it, right? Because if I'm able to hit, let's say, 5 lounges a year with this card, then it means I pretty much paid $20 to be able to get into some of these super nice lounges, these Amex Centurion lounges, whatever the case may be. To me, it makes it well worth it. And I'm currently traveling more than 5 times a year, so to me, this card is an immense no-brainer and one that I'm definitely gonna be getting pretty soon for personal use. Now, here are some examples of other dope cards for businesses. One is gonna be the Amex Blue Business Cash Card. This one has no annual fee and 2% cash back, amongst other benefits, but the huge one was the actual 2% cash back and the fact that it's gonna be your actual business card. To me, I look at it as a great way. If you're not able to get approved for any of the Amex Business Gold or the Business Platinum card, this is a good way to get your foot in the door because one, it has no annual fee, and two, once they see that you're doing well with your transactions, you're paying off your card month after month, then you might be able to get approved or pre-approved for one of the more higher tier cards. A second card is gonna be the Delta Sky Miles Reserve Business Amex card. Okay, now this one is great for frequent flyers on Delta. So if you're someone that's constantly moving around with Delta, then you'll definitely want to check out this card. They give you access to the Delta Sky Club and the Amex Centurion Lounge, which to me is more, I look at that as like a huge game changer. If you're able to get into those lounges, I never realized how much of a game changer all these little things were until I started experiencing them, right? Being able to get business class flights just off of my credit card points and seeing what it was like to fly business class. Being able to get into some of these lounges. I used to show up at the airport like as close to the time of the flight as I could, right? But once you have access to lounges, you actually want to show up to the airport early because okay, I can show up to the airport early. I can get into an Amex Centurion Lounge and be able to just sit down, relax, open my laptop, do some work. There's gonna be free food, free drinks, whatever you want, right? They're really accommodating. Some of these places even have sleep pods. So that way you're already gone through security and everything. You can go and take a nap before your flight. So it really opens up the possibilities. So guys, that's my current credit card strategy or my business credit card strategy. Be sure if you're interested to hear more about what I do with my future in terms of business related videos and even personal, be sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of the future videos. Alrighty, so I appreciate you watching and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.